Hi guys, my name is Londa Freeman and I'm here to share a quick testimony about the power of God, the power of impartation as it relates to being a part of 5F ministry, Apostle Kathryn's amazing ministry. And so my first encounter with Apostle Kathryn Krick came about on a journey or a trip that I took to Louisville, Kentucky, as she was going to be conducting a 3-night revival in Louisville. And I went all 3 nights fully excited, fully expected what God was going to do. I just saw a brief clipping of the power of God moving at her church. I think at that time she was in the park, but how the power of God was moving, so many people being healed and delivered and set free, and it ignited something on the inside of me. So I knew I had to get to one of her events. So the very first event was going to be in Louisville, Kentucky. I had never driven and never taken a road trip by myself to this extent, but I just felt God saying to go. So I went, and for 3 nights we were there. The power of God was so powerful, moving so amazingly. I received impartation, not by one-on-one prayer, but just through impartation as she was releasing the power and the Spirit of God across the whole room for everyone who would receive. And so it would be 2 weeks later when I came back. When I got back home, I knew I had received, but I didn't know, exactly what to do. So 2 weeks later, I was at the salon doing the client's hair, and the client was sharing some problems and stuff that was going on with her. And so I just felt like the Lord saying, ask her, can you pray? So I asked her, could I pray for her? And as we began to pray, she began to feel the spirit of anxiety leaving her. She began to have 20/20 vision. She came in with glasses. She actually had to take her glasses off to be able to look around and really see clearly. Another person that got healed, she was healed from kidney failure, where she was going to dialysis for 2 years, 3 times a week. God completely healed her as I prayed for her at the salon. Also too, there was an older gentleman who had been healed and delivered from an aggressive type of prostate cancer, and on and on and on. This all came about from the impartation that I received initially in Louisville, Kentucky. And of course, since then I've been traveling various places with Apostle and still receiving, as well as receiving online as I watch. She's doing like 3 teachings a week, and so we're here, every time she comes on, I'm there, I'm here receiving, And then another thing I want to share with you also too is when I first came in, in ministry, been in ministry for a while, but as I broke away from the religious church and came fully here to where the power of God was in operation, I didn't realize that what God was saying for me would be to completely put a hold on everything that I was doing and to fully commit to this revival training, and being here to receive what God has me to be on board fully here on what God was doing. So it was a good little stretch, because it really had to sink in what was actually happening, what God was actually saying through the anointed vessel Apostle Kathryn Krick. But the Lord was saying to me, He said, just like Paul, Paul was called and Paul was going forward, but even as Paul was called, he was also called to be trained. Amen. And so it just made sense that, to be trained, born and raised in religion. And so 40 some years that I had been molded into religion, then it was going to take some time for me to unlearn all of that and to shed all of that, if you will, to shed all the religiousness. And so with that being said, here receiving, being trained, being equipped, learning God's new way, learning what God is doing in His new revelation, this new wine revelation. And I'm excited. Also, in addition to that, God has also been healing and delivering me, not just impartation to be able to go and pray for other people. It's been delivering me, for many things, but one of those major things is the spirit of religion. Growing up in religion, I knew it was there, but I didn't know how much of a hold it truly had on me until I came into this ministry and listening to Apostles' teaching and just hearing God through the voice, through our spiritual mother, Apostle Kathryn, and learning the truth, learning the right way of the gospel and how He would have us to operate in this new wine. But even in operating in this new wine, we have to be willing to take off, to shed out of the old wine so that the new wine can properly fit. Amen. And so I'm so thankful to Apostle. I'm thankful for my father and family. And thankful for what God is getting ready to do even the more.